So let's talk about the always on display on the iPhone 14 because I actually don't like it. Just look how terrible it looks. So this is the always on display. If I turn it on, we see the actual display. And if I turn it off, it goes right into that always on display that we used to. So we see the time, we see the widgets, and it's like darkish. But it reminds me of turning your brightness all the way down, and that's basically the always on display. If we go and experiment with it, if I go and turn that brightness all the way down, it resembles almost that always on display. So obviously I have that automatic brightness that goes up. So yeah, this looks exactly like the always on display. If I turn that brightness all the way up, well, that shouldn't be good for camera, but let me put it right there and I switch back to the always on display. It's basically the same. The only thing that we see is like that font turns into a white font and those widgets and the calendar, or I should say the date, is also white. And that's actually it. It's almost horrible. It's not like what we used to from Android and Samsung. It's not that great, I should say. It's lacking on so many points, and it's basically disturbing how bad it is. I think, yeah, maybe that's because, well, Apple just introduced this new feature in the iPhone, and we should say we need to give it some time. We need to give it some upgrades before we can see like the thing that we were looking for, that almost seamlessly always on display. I guess if it will turn all the way black and it left only the time, the widgets, and the date, that will be something great. We can basically fix that by giving it a black background, I guess. So if we go and add a color and we give it like a black solid background, so if we change the tone into deep, vapor, bright, solid, and we add this one, okay, set it as a wallpaper. So now we have a all black background. And if I turn it to an always on display, you don't even see the difference between always on display and the actual display. So let's turn it off, and this is how the always on display looks like. Maybe this is something Apple should look for, or maybe Apple should aim for whenever you have an always on display, because this is what an always on display reminds me of. Like showing you the time, showing you the date, and nothing more, but not like your display brightness is brought all the way back like to 0% and that's what you're seeing. No, that shouldn't be the always on display. Furthermore, maybe we should have added like widgets into there just to give it the perfect look. So let me customize it, add widgets. So I'll be adding whatever widgets. And I'll add this one. No, I'll add this one. Okay. So done. Set as a wallpaper pair. And okay, so this looks more like an always on display than whenever you have something else like a color or like the earth or something. So let me go back and change it into the earth. So if you have this wallpaper on and you go and turn it into an always on display, this is how an always on display looks like. I don't know. In my opinion, it's lacking. It shouldn't be like that. It should be all the way black. And the only thing that you need to see is your time and date and maybe the widgets, but nothing more. And maybe you're thinking right now, is it like consuming battery and stuff? No, that's not. It's not consuming battery. Apple has made a feature that turns the refresh rate of your display all the way down. The brightness of your display is also be turned all the way down, and those two factors make sure that your battery is like not decreasing in a fast moving pace. Even though there are a lot of complaints about a poor battery experience, even if you have the iPhone 13, people are just complaining about how poor their battery when the moment they updated to the iOS 16. So Apple should also work on that, but especially they should work on a better always on display. So yeah, actually that was my 2 cents. I don't like the always on display, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you've liked it. Leave in the comment section below what do you think about the always on display, because I know for sure a lot of people had thought something else the moment they hear that the iPhone 14 Pro will have that always on display, and it's not getting up to those expectations. So yeah, leave in the comments down below what you think about the always on display. Subscribe to this channel, it helps me a lot. Watch one of my recent videos right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.